Did you know that car accidents are among the top 5 causes of death in Iran? So naturally, injuries sustained by being in a car accident are at an alarmingly high rate. The people who survive fatal accidents in a lot of cases suffer from spinal injuries that leave them with permanent disabilities. Prevention is key, of course, but what can be done to improve the quality of life of those that lost their ability to walk in an accident? Hey everyone, I'm Ali Reza and you're watching Iran Tech. So I'm here at Tarbiyat Modarris University, and inside there's a knowledge-based company that is designing a robotic exoskeleton meant to help people with disabilities. So let's step inside and see what we can find. No high school kid can wait to turn 18 to get behind his or her dad's car, but we can't forget that a car is not a joke, it's not a plaything, it could be a lethal machine. The slightest bit of distraction could mean that you never have the ability to walk again and you have to sit in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. But that doesn't mean that it has to be the end of the world. It's a nightmare for sure that a lot of families have to face, but it doesn't mean that it has to be the end of the world. This robotic exoskeleton could help fix some of the problems that these disabled people affected by accidents and other things face. This is ExoPed. So here are the people behind the company. On the right, you have the CEO, Mustafa Hawaiji, and on the left, Dr. Behzadipour, the head of the engineering department. So this is where the magic happens. Actually, that is where the magic happens, that building over there. And Dr. Behzadi is one of the people that makes the magic happen. He was kind enough to give us some time for us to ask some questions, because we absolutely had some questions about this product. And he was kind enough to give us some time. So Dr. Behzadi, it's a pleasure. I'm going to start with the first question. Tell me about the story behind the company and your own motivation for establishing this company.
Well, it was about 6 years ago when one of my old friends from high school called me in the university and told me that there is an opportunity to start a project and found a company on the exoskeleton robots, which is the device you are looking at. It's a device that helps disabled patients to stand up and walk again. And I had some history working on robotic systems during my PhD and during my university work in Canada. So I took the opportunity and we started the company.
Right.
We have come a long way to develop this product.
And as far as I know, Iran has a particular need for rehabilitation. So how does this product fit in with our rehabilitation technology at large?
Exactly. We have an aging population and we have high number of spinal cord injuries because of accidents.
Right.
As far as I know, the future of disability is using assistive robots. In the near future, wheelchair will be replaced by these robots, and we think we have to act quickly. Otherwise, we will fall behind, and we should be importer of this technology in the future.
All right, so what am I looking at here? How does this thing work, and what does it add to these people with spinal cord injuries?
Well, this is called a robot because it has actuators and controllers that provide effort, motion to the hip and the knee joints. And through this, it enables a disabled person to stand up and walk again. So in short, it is an assistive device. It doesn't cure the disease, but it helps the person to stand up and walk again.
So on that note, yeah, as far as I know, people with spinal cord injuries, they don't ever fully heal and they can't ever walk on their own. So if not that, what does this device add to their experience?
Exactly. Walking is critical for human being. We have been created to walk. Otherwise, we will be faced with many other complications such as bed sore, digestive infections, exactly, cardiovascular problems such as high blood pressure, osteoporosis in the bone. So the first thing that it does is by enabling the person to walk again, it prevents those complications from happening. And of course, it is a boost for the morale of the people, because
Right.
when they are wheelchair bound, they really need
Yeah.
to stand up and walk.
It does give them some level of independence.
Exactly.
I'm sure it cannot exactly be described, and I'm sure I'm never really going to be able to experience it fully. However, I'm going to try. So if you would let me, I would really like to test this device.
Sure, yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
Let's do it. All right, so could you help me a little bit with this? Thank you very much. Can I put myself in the mentality of a disabled person? I really don't think I can.
You should just assume that you don't have legs, so just let the robot walk you. It's very difficult, I know.
Let me see if I can assume that. No, can't do that. All right, so I have genuinely not sat down on this before. A little bit nervous, as I said, but also very excited to see how it would work. I've seen those clips of like super soldiers using these exoskeletons. I don't know if it would feel like that, probably not, but I'm still intrigued. So what do I do now? Ooh. Okay.
Not bad.
Not bad, but one of the tighteners fell off.
Okay.
Could you tighten it back? Should I sit down?
No, that's fine.
I do feel a little bit like that super soldier that I was talking about, but I haven't even taken the first step, so that thought might change. So just lift it. Whoa. Okay, that happened. Ooh. Man, this is beautiful.
You know,
Ooh.
maybe I should add that
don't even
walking
know
with
if I'm
this
doing
robot is not the same as walking on your own.
Yeah, you could
So-
say that again.
So, yeah, the pattern of taking the steps, which we call gait, is different between this robot and a normal walking or normal gait. So we have to have several sessions of training and education
yeah.
for a new user. So
Okay.
you're an absolutely new user, so it's
yeah.
not supposed to be easy for you. It's just it's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, I'm only half here. I'm just thinking about what just happened.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I was the one doing the walking. Was I the one doing the walking? Because I couldn't tell. Was it only the robot?
Yeah.
So I just thought I was, okay, so yeah, it does give you the illusion that you're walking, because I couldn't tell if it was me or the robot moving my leg. I can only imagine the disabled people going into shock doing this for the first time, because even I, who've been walking
You experienced it somehow.
I even went into shock. Well, okay, not literal shock, but it was pretty surprising to say the least. Okay, so I can safely say that they achieved the effect that they were going for, which is to have a person who hasn't walked in quite some time feel that sensation of walking without even them knowing that it's not them walking. I really didn't know if it was me or the robot moving my legs, and I think this is exactly what they were going for. So I think that's gonna wrap up the experience. I'm gonna have to think about how I'm gonna get out of this. I think it's gonna take a couple minutes at least, but yeah, it definitely was an experience. Okay, so I'll try to keep this part brief. These guys are working and I'm already intruding on their work. But yeah, this is it. This is where ExoPed was born. You can see the engineers, the designers, and the technicians hard at work to take ExoPed to the next step in its development cycle. But in this section of the program, we're going to dive deeper into the robot itself to get a better sense of how it works rather than why it exists. And who better to explain that than one of the engineers?
When a child is born, it gradually learns how to walk in 1 or 2 years and by falling a lot of times. Now we are working on a system to teach the device how to walk but instead of teaching it in the real life, we are teaching it in a artificial intelligence environment that uses neural networks to teach the controller how to control the balance of the system and how to move the systems in an appropriate way. An exoskeleton is simply a substitute for three systems in our body. First, skeleton, which is simply bones connected together in our body, but in our devices it's made of some metal parts that connected together, and its function is mostly bearing the weight, especially own weight of the device. Second, we have muscles in our body. In our device we have electrical actuators instead of it, which connects the metal parts, which move the metal parts. And third, we have neurons and nervous system in our body. Instead, in our device, we have a control system which connects the actuators to the main control system.
This device has been tested, as far as I know, on over 160 people with results. So I assume they had some stories to share with you about their experience. So would you care to share a couple of them with us?
Exactly, yes. You know, if I want to summarize it in one sentence, they tell us that you will never understand what we feel when we can stand up again after years of being wheelchair bound. So yes, we have had a range of patients trying this device. Most of them are spinal cord injuries, but we have also tried people with MS disease and also stroke patients. So yeah, for all of them, being able to walk again is a great memory.
It is said that the exoskeleton is one of the 12 technologies of the future, and we, the first and only country in the West Asia that developed one of these devices, started no later than any country in the world. And we are expecting to introduce our new personal product in the coming year.
And as far as I know, there's a clinical version and a personal version for the same product. So how are they different?
In the clinical version, the robot can be tuned in terms of dimensions and size for each individual, because each robot should be used by several different patients. And also, there are features embedded into the controller of the robot such that the activity of the person can be fully logged and analyzed, and so the report can be then used by the therapist in order to decide what course of action should be taken. But in the personal version, the robot is simpler. It is customized for each user, so it is...
so no need for further adjustments after you buy it.
It's more affordable, and it is also a little bit lighter.
The cheapest option available on the market is $80,000, and you managed to make this ExoPed for just $20,000. How did you manage to do that?
Yeah, you know, the high price is mostly because of the R&D expense, which is quite high. And doing that R&D in Iran definitely bring down the price, because we have, you know, good people with high knowledge and you know, the
in-house knowledge.
Exactly.
The best kind.
Our new prototype has a more flexible and lighter skeleton, smaller and lighter actuators, and smarter and easier to use controller. It also has a system to recognize the intention of the user while walking with the device.
So I got a little introspective today. I think maybe for 1 second I may have realized what it would be like to not be able to walk again, or to depend on someone or something to be able to walk, and I didn't like that. So I think now I may understand just how valuable companies like these and these products like ExoPed are for the well-being of our society, and especially to lift the spirit of the disabled people. But either way, that's been it for this edition of Iran Tech. I'll see you next week.